Everybody, we're going to be doing this extra long loofah today. I just want to thank you guys for taking the time to peek into my garden, see what I'm doing here. My name's Allie. This is my Zone 10 tropical garden. And over here and pick this loofah. And there's just something that I want to point out before to bring it up here and process it. Is I've noticed the difference in the ones that were pollinated naturally versus the ones I hand pollinated. These are all ones that were pollinated naturally. You can see they're nice at the bottom and they're much thinner at the top. I thought that was the weight pulling down, making the bottoms a bit heavier. But if you look, there's ones that were pollinated naturally. They seem to have that same shape to them. So I'm wondering if maybe poor pollination part way up. I mean, we'll probably be able to tell when we crack this open if we've got good viable seeds on the bottom and just like a bunch of white, unformed seeds at the top. But if we look down here, these three I hand pollinated, and we've got a fairly even consistency as we go up in size. Well, this last one over here is really bottom heavy, but I don't know if that's going to actually make a difference or if that's coincidence and just the weight of it. Hi, Trisha. I got to get to my other phone to be able to type. Oh, I need to turn the volume off on that other phone because I can hear it in the background. Hi, Trisha. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I try at this. All right. So we're going to go down here and we're going to get this big thing off of here. But this is a nice little look at it. And we're going to go ahead and cut. Well, maybe. All right, maybe I should have brought sharper clippers. All right, we just cut it way up there because I got a clean cut on it. But we got it. And now we're going to bring this up here, and I'll actually put this on the tripod so it's not me walking all over the yard. I'll sit this guy here. Oh, he's probably going to flip the bucket. All right, let's get you guys set up so you're getting to watch what I'm doing now. All right. I want to make sure I can get that whole thing in there. Okay. So what I got here is my giant loofah. And first things first, I'm going to just cut the ends off. I wonder if I can do it with this or if I'm going to have to get a knife. All right. Looks like we got a nice white sponge there. Nice sponge down here at this end. Oh, let's see. Do I see any dark seeds in there? Yes, I do. There's going to be a ton of seeds. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to the scissors. And I'm just going to go in right behind the sponge, between the sponge and the skin. These are a lot thicker skin. Wow. These are a lot thicker. Maybe that's why no bugs mess with them. All right, we're just going to peel it by hand. It's seeming easier right now. All right. And you can see we got a ton of seeds in there. The way I generally get the seeds out is I put it in the bucket. Oh, it broke right here. That's okay though. The sponge is still intact. Actually, you know what? I was thinking about cutting this in half to process it anyway. So let's just cut it right here where it broke. All right, we'll do that piece for a little later. But there's already a ton of seeds in here. You can see these guys. Now, the way they look different from my standard loofah seeds is the standard loofah seeds are a solid black seed. These are black with like a really faint gray speckle all over the seed. And that's how I can tell them apart actually if I mix them up. But let's see. All right, we got quite a bit of seeds out there and there's still a ton more. So we're just going to keep peeling. And then I just kind of take my hand, kind of run it in between it to separate it. And yes, this is a little slimy, but we're going to be hosing it off in a few minutes, so. Same thing, just pulling and then sliding my fingers down the side. Go from this side. And this is almost separate, completely separated. They're not wanting to go out that way. All right. Actually, it feels like it's wants to rip right here, so I'm going to turn this into a smaller, like, base or dish sponge, and then this can be one huge, nice bath sponge. What did I do with the phone? Okay, I lost my other phone. Hang on. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. Just wanted to check in on the phone because I haven't been looking at it. But I'm going to I'll go ahead and trim out just a little tiny bit of the center because the seeds seem to be backing up right here. And I should let a bunch more of them come free. All right. Okay, there's still quite a few in here. But I seem to be having trouble. They're kind of really right there where that was really dense. All right, we've got more than enough seeds that I'm not worried about losing a few when we go to wash this out. So we have these two. They're both ready to be scrubbed out, which we're going to do in 1 second. But while I've got my hands dirty, I'm going to go ahead. And this I picked a couple days ago. This is a standard loofah. Oh, wait, I never got the rest of this thing. I'm sorry, guys. 2 giant pieces, and I really thought that was the whole thing. All right, so we have the rest of this guy here. So I'm just going to try and make a slit right down it. grab a knife real quick on this piece. This green piece is a little bit tough. All right. Look at that. Okay, so I do kind of feel like it's a pollination issue, because as I'm looking in here at the seeds, there might be a couple black seeds, but the rest of them are immature, unformed seeds. So I think my guess was partially correct. Let's see if we get anything. No. Some immature seeds sticking to me. That's what we got. Okay, so I've got these 3 pieces. This is all from one gourd. There's 2 nice long sponges. Not even going to be one main piece. But I picked this one a couple days ago and I've let it sit so it's completely dried out. That's very easy. Slides right off. The thinner ones are much easier. I don't really need any seeds from my standard loofah. I don't want to mix any seeds with these guys here because I know a lot of people want these seeds right here. So I'm just going to, well, you know what? We'll put them on this tray. And you can see after they've sat for a couple days, this is much easier. You don't have to beat on it in the bucket. But I did want to do that all in one go for you guys, from vine to processed, on one little show. Now, by doing this, it's more ripe, and I let it sit a bit. All right, let's get these guys washed. Oh, there went half the seeds. All right, I'm gonna move this out of the way. We're gonna go right over here. All right, get a drink of my coffee. And let me bring you guys in closer to over here. All right. Well, I'm going to try and get past the into the sun. There we go. All right. So we're going to go ahead. The water's already turned on. Hose is already over here where I need it. And you're going to turn it on really, really high. And blast away on all sides. All right, just to give you guys an idea of the difference. Oh, I hope I wasn't even in there. Oh, sorry if I wasn't. But just to give you guys a difference, you can see how this is nice and getting nice and clear. This still has pulp from the fruit in it. So we're just going to keep blasting until you get a nice looking sponge. Go ahead, let it sit for a while, and I'll hose it down again this afternoon, and any of the remaining thickness inside will come out. But I'm going to go ahead, sit this one down, and work on the other three. All right, this end piece here is going to be really, really easy. There's a stubborn little seed. There we go. But the reason that other top piece was so difficult is it was the greener piece that's not as mature, so the pulp hasn't started to shrink back as much yet from the fibers. All right. And here's our big piece right here. All right. Oops. All right, you can see we missed a little piece of skin. We'll go ahead and pull that off. All right. Yes, they sprout up all over my yard all the time. All right. I'll sit there and fight with the stubborn seeds a little later. But now I'll go ahead and process that older standard loofah I have. Okay, this is the standard one. It's not going to come out as bright or white, just so you know ahead of time. And you will probably see some unevenness and dinginess where the starch stain is. See, there's a little bit of unevenness, a little bit here, but it's perfectly good to use, and it's an all-natural sponge for your bath. Whew. That was hard work. Now I'm going to bring them up here so you can see the difference. Give me 1 second, guys. We're back to this walking around stuff. And this long greener piece needs to be sprayed a little more, but I'll actually let it sit so it's a little easier. But you can see the color difference. I also do think in the standard variety, you get a little bit tighter of a mesh. Whereas in the extra long variety, it is a bit looser of a mesh. But all in all, they're still great usable products. I don't know which one I prefer yet. I haven't used the extra long variety in the shower. This is the first time I've harvested them completely ready and ripe. So that's pretty much what we got going on for the loofah harvest. Actually, you know what? I'm going to set this back on the tripod because I do have one other gourd here. The end of it might have an okay sponge, and the rest of it I'm just going to check for seeds, and we're going to feed that to the rest of the plants. So let me set this back down, get a sip of my coffee, and we'll see about getting any seeds out of that other gourd. Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. So we'll see if we can get some seeds in here. This will all get raked up and get composted. We waste nothing. My workstation. Alright. Let's just nip the tip off. It's nice and crunchy. Let's see. Go ahead and crack it there. That's what the other one did, so we're just going to start doing that. Seemed to be a little easier. I may be cutting the sponge a little bit. I don't care. I'm not holding out a lot of hope that this one's going to be super nice. Okay, I think I should have let it more. It's a little late now. And actually turn yellow because this is, oh no, the sponge just ripped right down the middle. And see, they're small, but look, well, that looks all right. Maybe I'll just save the seeds from this, but not mix them in that batch. Yeah, there's nothing past that point where it's swelled. Nothing. No viable seeds past there. So I definitely do believe that the uneven growth is a direct result of the pollination. And yeah, the few big seeds we have are down here at the bottom. These ones, you can really see the pattern better. How I said, oh, they're very different. Okay. This is a seed from the standard loofah. These are obviously larger, but you can see they're not all black. They have like a tannish gray color to them, kind of speckled from the middle. So I'm not worried about mixing them up. I can tell them apart, but I think I want to keep separated the seeds from this extra long and the first one, just because I don't think these seeds are going to be as great, but I'll still use them. So I'm going to sit that there. I'm pretty sure there's going to be absolutely nothing worth looking at in here, but let's just, for fun, slice it open, take a look. Nothing. I wouldn't, I don't like dealing with when they're this green. It's a pain in the butt to get them clean. I've heard soaking them in a bucket of water for a couple days, but I've not tried it, so I can't say one way or the other. But that's more stuff to feed my plants. It's okay. But thank you guys for watching me process a loofah this morning. I've got a ton of other things I got to get done today before I can get back out here and catch up on gardening. So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. And thank you for watching, taking a peek at what I'm doing. And in the next couple days, we'll get together and do some more gardening. And I'll see y'all later.